Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of GameScape Reimagined. I'm your host, Aliza, and today we'll be exploring Marvel Rivals, a game that's quickly growing in popularity thanks to its balance of strategy, lore, and competitive gameplay. And to help break it all down, I sat down with Izaya, a longtime player of the game.
Hi guys, I'm Isaiah. Nice to see y'all.
And we're going to be talking a little bit about Marvel Rivals. So we'll kind of within this interview, we'll kind of just dive into a little bit about the lore, the characters, the different types of maps, game modes, etc. And yeah, so I know that there are 4 seasons currently at the moment. So you played how many seasons so far?
I've played 0 to 3, so I haven't played the newest season just yet, but I'm pretty knowledgeable about this game.
Okay, yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, and I've only played season 0 and season 4, so literally the opposite of you, basically.
But we got knowledge.
Yeah, we got a little bit of knowledge. Isaiah has been playing Marvel Rivals since its early days, and his perspective is really perfect for understanding how the game has evolved. And we started by talking about the character categories, so Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist. I know that there's different types of categories of characters. I know there's Vanguard, Duelist, Strategist. Do you have any favorite characters in any one of those categories, or all 3?
I would say all 3. My favorite is the strategist. Out of the strategist, I would say Mantis is probably my favorite. And then if I would have to say for duelist, oh man, there's a lot, but it would probably be Iron Fist, just because how cool he is and what he does.
Mm-hmm. What I liked here was Isaiah's balance across roles. It shows how Rivals gives players options, whether you prefer team support, brawler power, or precision duels. Personally, I lean towards strategists like Luna Snow and Cloak and Dagger. They're very versatile and fun to play. I would definitely say so. For duelists, my number one and only Psylocke, my baddie queen. She's definitely probably the top character that I play. Other than that, I play usually strategist role. So I play Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow the most. I have played other characters like Mantis, Jeff the Shark, Adam Warlock as well. I think the only ones that
lots of strategists.
Yeah, I think the only strategist I haven't played yet is Loki.
He's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I just think I never got into learning the mechanics of him, really. Yeah. So I know you've only played until season 3, but how do you think Marvel Rivals has evolved from season 0 to where it's currently at, or since when you stopped playing?
Since playing through 0 to 3, it has changed a lot, just because they've added a lot of characters and they changed the meta by buffing and for the better. I say that they've done a really good job with balancing, and I mean I've had a lot of fun. I can't wait to play season 4 when I get the chance.
Yeah. Listening to Isaiah describe those changes, it's clear that Marvel Rivals evolves season by season. For me, season 4 stands out. It feels really polished with more refined character balance, even if it still needs a few tweaks. Do you have any season which you felt had the biggest turning point for the game?
I say the biggest turning point was probably season 1, where they introduced the Fantastic Four. It was just a bunch of new characters, so the whole meta was flipped on its head, and it was I say personally the best season after playing season 1 through 3.
Okay. I know you kind of know a little bit about the lore. So do you want to maybe touch up on that for me a little bit? Because I'm not very educated on the lore for like game wise or like comic wise, I guess, if you're referring to it. Because I know the game really connects to the comics a lot more. But yeah.
Well, they actually have their own comics connected to them. Basically, the story goes that there's two Dooms, one from the 2099 universe and one from present time, and they're basically fighting for the multiverse, and they create a big catastrophe, creating these items called Chronovium, and the heroes are trying to stop the Dooms from basically taking over the multiverse.
Okay.
To sum it up.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. And I know that kind of ties into like a lot of the maps that they have. They have different maps based on the different like universes they have. So like obviously you mentioned 2099, and I know they have like the Null universes, Wakanda, Asgard, just a lot of different like maps expanding on those universes, right?
Yeah, so basically those maps are like alternate universes. So like for example, Wakanda, they have this item called chrononium,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically like high-tech vibranium, and it basically sent Wakanda into the stars. So they're all galactic basically. And for the 2099 universe, it's very Spider-Verse related. So the web of life is kind of falling apart, and they need to like build a machine to save it. They also have Asgard. Loki and Hela take over Asgard, which is Asgard basically,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to save the Tree of Life. And then Null, for his map, he basically is trying to escape, so the heroes try to stop him for that one. That's like the base lore for all those maps.
Okay, cool. And like I'll probably get into like a lot of like the map visuals like later on and further on in my podcast. But yeah, I really like the visual designs of the maps that they have. I feel like they put a lot of detail into the maps, and like they hide different pieces of like lore or like a story behind the characters, right? And to each of their maps, which I think is pretty cool.
No, it's especially on the Hellfire Gala ones.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a bunch of X-Men related things and like Ultron stuff. It's those all the maps are so beautiful. I wish I could create some maps like that.
No, yeah, that would definitely be cool. That's what makes Marvel Rivals special. It's not just about fighting. It's about stepping into Marvel's multiverse, and maps like Hellfire Gala could even add features like teleporters, which are featured on other maps, and it definitely would change the pace of the gameplay. And even in Tokyo 2099, you know, the visual style is very prominent on Spider-Verse, so very bold, colored, and detailed as well. And I know that the game has a couple of different modes. I know like the more basic ones that are known is going to be like quick play and competitive matches, but I know they have like the different arcade games. So they have like Conquest, Clone Rumble, Conquest Annihilation, Giant Sized Brain Blast, Free Fight, Doom Match, and I don't really know. I'm not really like versed into any of those modes except for like Doom Match, and then obviously like the quick play and the competitive. But I know like Doom Match is the 1v1 free for all, you know, type of mode.
So you haven't played any of like the extra little game modes?
No. I don't think I've played enough of the game to actually like start to get into it. I've really just recently like, you know, started getting back into this season on season 4. So far I'm liking it a lot. So hopefully I have the time to kind of get back into it so I can kind of explore more of the game.
And maybe make some events
right
that you missed.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know like I feel like the game is really good at keeping like seasonal updates or like seasonal events going on. do you feel like that makes the game like up to date and like fresh, or do you feel like they still have like areas that they need to work on?
Yeah, I feel like every month they have at least 2 to 3 events, and honestly, that's a lot per month just to have everything or every event per week. So I mean, there's just always something new. It game wise, it doesn't change too much, but like it gives a lot of rewards to
Mm-hmm.
the players who play consistently. So I feel like it definitely keeps players coming back for
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's just something that NetEase and like Marvel Rivals, like I feel like they do a really good job at that. Kind of making rewards like accessible to everybody because obviously, like you said, it makes people want to come back, and it just keeps the game, I feel like, more enjoyable.
Free to play,
Right,
free to
free to
play.
play. I think I kind of want to go into just like I guess their community, but how do you think the community for Marvel Rivals has responded to like all of the updates so far that they've had with the game? What do you think?
Okay, so since I played through 0 through 3, I'll talk about like the past of what the community was, and then I want you to talk about how the community is now, if you've seen anything
Mm-hmm.
about it. So basically, the community was pretty healthy from season 1 to 2. They loved all the new additions, and there was a very good balance to the game. Everyone having fun, and then something happened. Season 3, there was a big meta shift,
Mm-hmm.
and people started changing the metas, and toxic like team builds were getting really popular in competitive. Quick play was, I would say, still pretty healthy. Just
Mm-hmm.
competitive, it got very serious, and people were mad about being stuck in gold and platinums
Yeah.
just because they had to fight, because some characters were a little stronger than others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hence why I probably stopped playing, right?
Right.
There was other factors too, but I mean, I I said it was still fun when I was playing.
I couldn't agree more. Compared to games like Overwatch or League, Marvel Rivals feels more welcoming, and that positivity makes it easier for new players to learn without like a fear of toxic pushback.
But I don't think the community is really toxic. I just
Mm-hmm.
say they have fun.
Yeah, honestly, I really like the Marvel Rivals community. I don't think I've as much as I played the game, I haven't run into anybody toxic. I know I will run into them at some point. But so far it's nothing compared to like
It happens.
Overwatch, nothing like Valorant, nothing like League. Like
Oh,
they all have like
yeah.
very toxic communities. Yeah, but I definitely think they're very very good on um, having a good community and also listening to their community as well. Like whether that just be game wise or even just community wise, any updates that they have.
Yeah, they're always constantly updating the community. Like they give weekly updates on like Discord or
Mm-hmm.
like their Twitter. They're always like telling the community what's coming.
Yeah. And then I think just one thing to like also close us off on is what's one piece of advice you would give to a brand new player starting today?
One piece of advice, I would say, if you start today, hop on, add me, and then I'll carry it. No, I'm
All
just
right,
fucking
all
kidding.
right.
Just have fun. Pick any character you like. There's a roster of like, I want to say 40
Mm-hmm.
heroes. And just don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, play at least like 5 games, and then you could decide whether you want to keep playing
Right,
or
right,
not.
right, yeah.
Have some friends join you. It's a 6v6, so I mean, if it's all y'all's first times, y'all gonna have a blast in quick plays. And if you start to get real serious, you can go ahead and hop in competitive and see what that's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number one thing would be having fun.
That's the perfect closing thought. And Marvel Rivals succeeds because it blends Marvel's iconic worlds with gameplay that feels accessible yet deep. And as Isaiah reminded us, at its core, it's about enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to talk on today's podcast. Do you have any closing thoughts before you go and head out?
It was just great being here, and hopefully I hop on Marvel Rivals soon.
Right, yeah. All right, and thanks for listening to the first episode of GameScape Reimagined. If you enjoyed this conversation, subscribe for more episodes where we dive into games, communities, and the stories that connect us all.